Steven, I had a new random idea, and I don't know what to do with it. But I've been
Hmm.
dealing. I've been like, I you, I've been struggling with this, Steven, because obviously I want to work on the movie, then
Hmm.
want to work on Bullet and the Beast. But I have this really cool idea that has to do with like monsters and demons and such that I think is really cool. But also, like, why does this happen, Steven? I have other things to work on. Why is there always a million
It's
things?
just kind of how being an artist works. Like there's something that grabs your heart and makes you do, like you feel passionate about. You just gotta chase that passion a little bit. It's not like you don't have. You can probably chase it a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. I've been like I've been playing with like outlining this stuff here. Like I know we're supposed to do a cold open, Steven. I'll just tell you here. I'll pitch this. Let's do a quick pitches get stitches as a cold open. All right.
Pitches get stitches.
All right. So every once in a while, I have a random idea, a spark of something that just won't leave me alone. So I have to share it with Steven so we can talk about whether or not it's worth giving stitches and fixing up and making into a Frankensteinian creation, of narrative proportions. Imagine, if you will, a crime scene investigator, like a Willem Dafoe, Boondock Saintsian
Mm-hmm.
situation where, he goes around, he's a magnificent detective, likes his space, wants to be left alone, but is genius at solving these puzzles. Um, he starts to notice that the crime scenes that he's being called to have pieces of evidence that he can't necessarily reconcile. Like things just don't add up as far as like physics are concerned. And he's just like, I don't know. I'm feeling like an idiot. And he's like, I don't know what to do with this. So he starts working on these cases in his own time. Like he can't stop thinking about them. It kind of drives him down this rabbit hole. And while he's trying to figure this out, um, he gets murdered by someone. And Stephen, this man, goes to hell. And the devil
Mm-hmm.
or a demon, whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be overtly religious. The idea is there is a punishable place. Doesn't matter which hell it is. But he goes to a hell, and this demonic force strikes a deal with him and says, not you're gonna work for me now that I own your soul, but if you solve this series of crimes for me, because I think it's someone who came from hell, and if they got out, I'm gonna look bad. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're making they're gonna diminish the respect that I gain from these people, and I'm gonna lose my army, yeah, essentially. So I want you to go out there, figure out who it is, which demon it is, and stop them. And if you do that, I will release your soul. I won't own your soul.
Damn.
So he's
So
doing
right
so
off, solid bargain. You get to do what you love anyway, buddy. You get to solve a
yes.
crime.
So he's already fantastic at solving crimes, but now he has to do it through the lens of supernatural stuff exists, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's not privy to this world, He's someone who's like very science minded. He's incredibly skeptical. He only believes in the facts and what he can sense. But now he's given a new life. But the thing is, Stephen, when he's brought back to life, it's not like he's just reborn again because the devil or the demon or whatever it is doesn't have that capability that easily. Right? He
Mm-hmm.
can't just because either he gives the soul back and you come back to life fully, or he has to do something else while he maintains the soul. And he doesn't
Mm-hmm.
want to lose the soul because that would
That's the
cheapen his deal.
bargaining chip.
That's the
That's
bargain.
his. That's his. Yeah.
So what he does, Steven, is he imbues this detective, this crime scene investigator, with like demonic energy, like like the blood of a demon. And so he is reborn, but now what happens is he realizes he's more in tune with the supernatural, and he can sort of sense things in a way that he couldn't before. And he can also use that sort of demonic power in certain ways that he's going to discover along the way. And when he does, though, it kind of has like a buffer, like it has a buff, so he can only have so many sort of like spell slots, or with this
Available at once. He can't just
available
like
at once.
stack them all. He can't stack like ogre fist with like
Yes.
winged bat.
Yes. But when he does this, yeah, but as when he learns these powers, as he uses them, he realizes like during the buff though, he looks more demonic and like decrepit and scary. But so the whole thing is, he leaves hell to try to like discover hell on earth and put an end to it, all while solving his own murder, kind of. Anyway, and I just think it'd be a really fun idea, and I would call it "What Fresh Hell." It would
But
just
for,
be yeah, and
sounds awesome though.
it would just be a cool idea, right? I just like that so much, and I've just been like messing with like just thinking about it constantly. But yeah, anyway, so
No,
yeah,
that sounds
yeah,
brilliant.
if you're interested in reading What Fresh Hell is a comic book in the future, or any sort of What Fresh Hell, if Steven doesn't feel like working on it with me, just maybe I'll write
I
a
will
novel on
definitely
it.
work on it with you. That
No.
sounds like heavy inks and like
Yeah,
scary, broody demons, and yeah,
yeah,
that
that's what I
sounds.
figured. Like we can, like it would be cool if it sounds cool to you. Let us know in the comments. Otherwise, we have issues to talk about. Let's get into it. Hello, welcome to We Have Issues. I'm Anthony.
And I am Stevie Wildcard.
And every week, my best friend Stevie Wildcard and I get together and we do our best to overcome the various issues and obstacles and demons and monsters and nonsense that life throws our way in order to get something done. Most recently, what have we been working on, Steven?
Superhero culty comedy comic called Deathless. Yeah, I got it. I got it.
You missed Supernatural, but you got it.
Superhero supernatural culty comedy comic Deathless.
Yes.
And we're kicking booty on it. I got
Yes.
all of the cameos in, and you flatted up to
18.
I believe page 18. So
Yep.
now you're lettering, and then I'm gonna color the remaining pages and shade those. I did shade a page or two also.
Heck freaking yeah.
But yeah,
Dude, I'm so excited. So for those of you joining us for the first time, or those of you just looking for an update on your like, where's my book? We give you my Kickstarter money. We are very close, as Steven
Yep.
said. Like I did all of my flats up until page 18. They're only, what is it, 23, 22, 22, 23 pages. With this issue, Steven's going to finish up the rest while I do the lettering and all of that stuff. So, and then we're done. We send it off to the printers.
However, comma, you people out there are
You.
some of you that have not reported your t-shirt sizes, and I need them all to get them all. Like, I can't really put the order in until I have everyone's t-shirt size. I mean, I can, but then you're not gonna get the t-shirt right away.
It's such a struggle, guys, because like we try to make these rewards so it's something that people want, and then they want it. They pay for it, and we want to give you the thing you pay for it. But you just have to check your email. Look for Kickstarter emails. We have sent out all of the reward surveys. You can just answer those surveys, tell us your sizes, tell us your favorite colors, whatever it may be, and then we will get all that information, put it together, make the shirts, and then we're done. And we move on, and we get to do new stuff. And I can't freaking wait, Steven. So speaking of this week, you got some stuff done. We're very close to finishing. I got all my coloring done. We are very close to finishing. It was a long weekend. It was a good weekend. I played D&D. I think it went pretty well. We
went
played
really great.
D&D. It was a lot of fun. Otherwise, I know you've had a long week. I've had a long week. So you know what, this week, Steven, let's give ourselves a little bit of a break. We're gonna do something that we like to call questions from the colony. Okay?
Let's all gather round the peaceful fire. We're worn and tired and need some desires answered. There was 3 rhymes in there, you better appreciate it. Because there's questions from the colony with Steven and Anthony. We're gonna answer all of your questions tonight. You got it.
Questions from the colony. So usually we talk about the various issues that we go through, the things that happen to us in life. Sometimes we have fun stories, sometimes we have personal stories, sometimes we have sad stories. You know, we have things to share. Like this week, Steven, I cried a bunch. You want to know why? Because I watched Endgame. I watched Infinity War with my family. I watched Endgame with my family, and I cried, Steven, like a baby. Just like you know it's coming. I know everything that's going to happen, and I know the things that are going to be undone. Here I am, crying like a hurricane. Can't stop, won't stop, I guess. I don't know.
That
Like
Stark sacrifice is rough,
dude,
man.
it hits me like a wrecking ball every time. It's crazy. They do such a good job, and it's like with the force of 1,000 like emotional terrorist bombings. Like it literally like they just like fly into my heart. And it's not okay. I don't appreciate it because and they even do a thing. You see it like especially rewatching them where like they're like, oh, bring in Peter. We're gonna get him real good. Like
Yeah. Let's
Like,
make
wait,
them suffer. And dude, they let the death breathe so well in it too. Like they let
oh,
the actual passing breathe, and then they get the funeral in there, and they get you with more touching. I'll make you as many hamburgers as you
yes.
want. Like
Oh, the
just
oh,
so
oh my
much, dude.
God. So we had a long week, okay? And we do normally talk about our weeks and our issues, but we often like to just we take a break from that when we're very busy, like we were this week, and we let you, the viewer, the audience, the colony, the band, whoever you may be, our friends, ask us questions, and we answer to the best of our ability. This week, Stephen, we got a bunch of questions. The very first question, I have to say, maybe I read this question after we did our questions from the colony because I know I've read this question before, but I'm not sure if we answered it. Anyway, her question is, what happens to vegetarian zombies, Stephen?
Ooh. I mean, I guess it depends on the zombie, right?
Right.
If it's like some sort of virus or like takeover effect or like Night of the Living Dead or whatever it is, where they're like basically like reborn like demon zombies. What are they even really in that? They're not the person they were.
Right.
I guess it depends on if the principles of the person carry over into the zombie because like is someone that, I don't know, like let's say someone that's like religious even becomes a zombie, do they
Mhm.
still like go to the church and like clutch their cross and
Right.
do they
Well, it's interesting because like in the Night of the Living Dead series, as it progresses, you kind of see that the zombies kind of retain some of that, like that
like
like
the echoes of the person of
echoes of the person, kind of like they go to the mall and they're wandering around the mall the way that they would wander around the mall. That they go to the gas station, they're holding. I think that's from Land of the Dead. The guy kind of is like holding the gas pump, like doing. Like zombie, like zombified versions of who he was in his zombified life. Like the kind of circular, Sisyphean, weird, like basic NPC lives that we all live all the time. So yeah, I don't know. There's some semblance to that. I'm not sure that I buy there would be any level of that as far as like dietary restrictions. Like I can't because like I think there's too much consciousness, like too much cognitive function going on to create those preferences, I think.
mm.
You know?
And not to mention in most scenarios zombies need to consume brains and I
Right.
don't.
Yeah,
Okay,
like
hear me
there's
out, hear me out,
I'm here, I'm listening.
hear me out. The vegetarian zombie
Mhm.
who only eats mushrooms because they're like some sort of weird, fungi living like brain thinking
Okay.
creature. So
Yeah,
they
yeah, yeah.
can maintain brain function by finding like wild mushrooms and just
Right.
eating them.
So it's like it's Last of Us in reverse. It's like
Yes,
the
but it's
weird
like
space
it's a zombie
zombie.
that's like, no, I'm not going to eat human flesh. I'm going
Okay.
to eat these mushrooms. I'm going to forage for
I like
these
this.
hyper, weird intelligent fungi.
Brains kind of look like mushrooms anyway. I totally
Hmm.
get this. Okay, okay. Um, Not to mention, what are we if not the fruit of the earth daily? That's- Come
We
on.
are the blossoming mushrooms for the zombies to consume.
That's right. Okay, so let me see. I left Bright, not safe for work, asks, have you ever regretted the way a book ended? Stephen King has said at least once that he preferred the movie ending of Cujo over his. So if you're talking about the way our books have ended, we've only ended. Well, I've ended Table Scraps and Played Again. I don't regret the way either of those ended. I really enjoy both of those, especially, I mean, Play It Again is a very touching, meaningful, and personal and hopeful ending, and I appreciate that. But so is Table Scrap. So as far as our work, and then like we're headed toward. I've already written the ending of Deathless, and I think it's good. I mean, that's
I haven't drawn it yet, and he hasn't like gone
yeah,
back to rewrite it, so he's
yeah.
content with his ending. So
Yes, exactly. But as far as like other things are concerned, it's not really for me to say. Like there are, I'm trying to think like what's a thing? I mean, I guess there are things like Army of Darkness where I'm like, I kind of love the idea that Ash oversleeps and ends up in an apocalyptic world. And that's a cool ending. Whereas like the ending they went with was like he's just back in the present or whatever. My
mm,
my my alternate ending to that, Steven, I don't know if you remember this, but like I pitched this a long, long time ago. I'm not sure if I did it in the show. I love the idea that Ash did take the. Do you know what I'm talking about? In the end of Army of Darkness,
I
they
do.
they
I think I do. I remember the simple ending I think
Okay,
where he's just back at like Supermart or
he's
something
back at
like
S
that,
Mart.
or
Yeah, yeah. Shop
yeah,
Smart.
Smart,
Shop
yeah.
S Mart. So like he's back there. He's like in a store, and he's like hail to the king, baby, and it's cool and all that. But I like the idea. So then there's an alternate ending where he drinks the drops, but they did one too many, or just slightly too many. So he drinks. So he sleeps until an apocalypse happens, like the world is in shambles. But Steven, what if he slept the right amount of time? Right? But it's in the same universe as Freddy versus Jason.
Oh,
Because
dude.
think about this, right? Think about it. Freddy versus Jason ends with Jason like having Freddy's head. Freddy's dead, but he winks and he's clearly not dead because you can't freaking kill that guy. Everyone has tried. Um, so I like the idea that Freddy finds a new way to come back, no matter, whatever it may be, and he and Jason continue to in this endless battle of, badassery until the world is in shambles, which requires, you know, Ash to
Ash
come
the
back
Demon
and save it.
Slayer.
Yeah. And, like, which is so cool. Like I love that idea. Anyway, I don't know. Like can you think of any movie endings that you're like, I wish it would have ended
I'm
differently?
gonna be very controversial here. Um, Everyone hates the ending of How I Met Your Mother,
Hmm.
but I actually prefer the original. It was all about Robin ending.
Yeah.
Than I do the quick little throw together ending that they did for like him and Tracy lived happily ever after.
Right.
Because I do think the whole point of How I Met Your Mother is Ted having this talk with his kids to
Right.
kind of like to feel them out if him pursuing Robin is okay. Like that's the only way the show makes sense and how much he's talking about Robin, how
Yeah.
much he's explaining their back and forth love, and how much he loves their mother.
Yeah. Well, not
But
not to mention, I
mom's
mean,
gone.
yeah. Well, the
Yeah.
that show, I love that show for what it is, and like it is a lot of jokes that I'll always appreciate, and a lot of things that like I'll always remember fondly. But like they they I do wish they would have introduced the mother character without letting you know who she was, like that she was going to be the mother
Yes.
earlier on. So then you're always kind of wondering, like, who is it going to be
Even
Robin?
in
Is it going to be,
Dude, even in a cool way where she's not even a notable character.
Yeah.
Like literal, like you see the
Yep.
actress walking into, and you don't know who she is, but she's a background character in season 1, episode 6. She's,
Yeah.
this back, like that would have been such an amazing payoff. And then I also think we should have gotten a season or two of Tracy with the group.
Yes.
And then
100, dude,
and then
100.
her death happening, and then the whole Robin ending would be fine. Like you
Yes.
could literally be like, "Hey, this is like
And
all the amazing. This is what led me to your mother.
yes.
These were the times we spent. These are you guys being born. This is us." And
Well,
then
and then like after the mother like dying, we could have seen more of that. Like there's so many things they could have sold that idea. It felt like they were like, anyway, here's this woman. Also, she's perfect. Also, she's adorable. Also, she's perfect. And now she's dead. Oh, isn't and then it was like it happened so fast where I was like, all right, we were
that's
waiting.
what it's similar to Game of Thrones. It's
Yeah.
like you
Yeah.
had, like I said, but even with the current cut that we have, I still do think the Robin ending is the best ending for that cut for what they did between the two, where it's
Yeah.
just like a fluff nothing. I don't
No,
understand
I agree.
why Barney and Robin got together twice in the show.
I don't
That doesn't
either.
really make sense.
Like I feel
and
like
then
the first
just to
time.
have them break up again, like
Yeah,
it doesn't.
that was ridiculous. All right, let's see. Okay, our good friend Sam has a few questions. Let me see if I can get them all in a row.
In a
All
row.
right. Sam B asked, where exactly are the Wild Things? And yes, I'm talking about the 1966 classic song by the Trogs. All right, Steven, where are the Wild Things? That's our first question.
Well, the wild things are making people's hearts sing.
They make everything groovy. So
That's
they're
where they are.
probably at S-Mart with Ash. You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right. Sam B also asked, what is your ideal horror situation that you would thrive in, Steven? Like, what's your like horror?
Like what
wow,
horror would I kick ass in?
yeah,
Like just not
100%.
even be worried.
Yeah.
Mm, I feel like one big bad horror. I
Yeah.
like big slasher horror, like Jason.
Yeah.
Like supernatural single
Oh,
thing. I would
100%.
much prefer a single entity than like a horde of zombies. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? Like
100%.
I
dude.
think we're best prepared to handle vampire though. So I think a solid head vampire coming into my house trying to take out my family, and it's me
Yeah.
versus this vampire
Well,
and how I can outsmart it.
I was gonna say Steven, I always feel like no anytime any questions asked to me where it's like, oh, what universe would you live in? My first thought is how do I get superpowers? How do I
How do I get?
become how do I make this about me getting to do cool stuff? Like I want to do cool stuff. So yeah, my answer is probably gonna be vampires because like I feel like not only can I survive them by simply not inviting them into my house, but I can find a way to manipulate the situation and get superpowers so I can fly and, wear sunglasses at night or whatever. And I'm excited about it. I would say, Steven, though, if it's just about basic survivability and the idea is the fact that the thing is trying to kill you, oh my God, please, for love of God, give me Chucky or give me death. No, no, I'm kidding. Like, I get it. Oh, Chucky finds a way. No. Chucky's the easiest thing to avoid. Also, you know what else is the easiest thing to avoid? Mike Myers, Steven. You want to know why? He's much like a shark. He only exists in one place,
Yeah,
baby.
you just
Not
leave that town.
you just don't go to that town at Halloween specifically, and you're pretty good. Like you're not bad. Not to mention you could show up and just Home Alone Mike Myers. Like I feel like just hire Kevin McAllister to booby trap the houses, put Jamie Lee Curtis in one of the houses, and it's oops all paint cans. Like he's dead.
Just all
There's
Jamie
no-
Lee Curtis silhouettes and windows.
it's the best Christmas movie of all time. It's Christmas with the Cranks with Michael Myers. Um, all right. Our next Sam V question is, or our last Sam V question is, do you think if you had to climb a tree right now, you could do it no ropes? I could 100% do it depending on if there's a branch low enough for me to like at least reach from a standing position. Like
Yeah.
I'm not saying I couldn't, I probably could jump and pull myself up, but I'd say 100% if it's from a standing position, I can. I will say that. I
If it's somewhere near my shoulder height and there's a knot in the tree for my shoe to
that's
go
oh
in,
that's fair.
we
That's
got
a
it.
good
We got it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like I've always been like I climbed a lot of trees as a kid. I've always been that person. I'm monkey shaped. All right, let me see. Okay, so Radio or X Radio X, the music podcast, at X Radio X1, asked if you were a superhero named the Green. This is all for you, Steven. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
You ready? If you personally were a superhero named the Green Bomb, what would your costume look like, and what would your power be?
Okay, the green bomb. I would definitely mimic and make myself look as much like Mega Man as possible
Ooh,
because he's the blue bomber and I'm the
yeah,
green bomb.
I love that.
And I believe my power would be giant burstable balls of paint
Okay,
that contain,
okay.
yeah. So like,
I like
it's like,
this.
and they like fire off like cannonballs, like from this
Nice.
big like X Buster situation. And when they hit stuff, it splatters this green paint, and then I project movies on them. Green
Ooh,
screen. It's just I paint the town green. Okay, that's the, no fire, no explosives. It's the green bomber, but I just paint. I just paint, man.
I love this so much. Okay, let's see. So we have another question from Aaron Creed asks, if you could live in the fictional world of any 90s movie, what would it be?
90s movie.
Yeah, any
Indian in the
90s
cupboard.
movie. Indian in the cupboard? Ooh,
Yep.
that's such a good answer. Oh my God, I would
That's
love to
the
find that
movie to because like
cupboard.
that movie allows
Yep.
you to have anything. Like it's
Oh,
just
man, I mean, the living in
if
the
only it was
fictional world of
Indian in
that.
the pantry because then you can make
Right?
such large
Well,
things. Like
Steve, I wonder, okay, right? As long as the doors are what they are, can you like expand the back? Can you adhere a room? Can you put that on the wall and cut a hole on it, and now your house becomes the cupboard? I need to know, and also that's night at the museum, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. That's such a good question. Like any 90s,
any nine, there's a lot of good '90s stuff.
there
I mean, like
there are so many good ones. Oh
I
man,
mean,
I mean,
no, the Buffy movie was in the '80s, right? Like '89 or something like that.
oh man, yeah, I'm thinking any 90s movie that's
John
hmm.
Carpenter's Vampires was in the '90s. I'm
Ooh, to
pretty.
be a vampire. But those vampires are all like, I am obsessed with our leader, you know? Like it's
Yeah,
always like they
lame
all
vampire.
they
They're
you
not
know
lame. They're actually a
they're-
really cool vampire, but like,
oh
yes,
some of them
not.
are.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
that was a
I
really
don't
cool
need
vampire mythos movie for sure. But
yes. Yeah.
'90s
Ooh, I don't know though.
Godzilla. Not, well, I mean, why would you want to live in
I don't want to
'90s?
live in it, but it would be cool. Oh, yeah. I do
Having Green Day play that song over and over again, like
right? Oh my God. No, I do. I like Indian Cupboard. Small Soldiers. Anywhere where it's like you get these cool creatures, like like a what year was Gremlins
Gorgonites.
2?
Oh, Gremlins.
Oh no, no, yeah,
Gremlins 2 is probably in the early 90s,
Gremlins 2
right?
was like early
I would
90s.
think
Yeah.
like
Um, Gremlins 2 would be cool. I would love a Mogwai. You don't think I want a Mogwai? Of course I want a Mogwai. My whole life I could solve world hunger, have a best friend. It would be amazing. Everything would be great.
to be fair,
Uh,
Pokemon the first movie came out in the 90s, so
ooh,
you
you
could
can
live in a
live in
world
the
of
Pokemon
Pokemon.
world.
You
That'd be
just
really cool.
immediately create the Pokemon world with that one.
I love this. Okay, let me see. My wonderful wife, KT Carlisle, asks, when you gonna write another banger of a book already? Huh? Huh? Um, I'm going to write well, first I'm gonna write a movie. I'm writing How to Dispatch a Vampire next. And then we're gonna write we've been talking about Bullet and the Beast and doing music and
Mhm.
stuff. So we're gonna probably jump into that. And at some point I'm gonna write
And when
this
Anthony
big.
and when I'm behind on art or needing to do art and stuff, Anthony will have time to write another book.
Yeah, so I don't know. And I don't know what book I would write. Like I don't know if I'd write like maybe I'll write the What Fresh Hell thing as a book. That could be cool. I could like it sucks though because like sometimes like when I'm picturing it, I'm seeing the creatures and like the the monsters and stuff and like seeing his power, which like yeah, I can describe it in a way that is visual and fun.
Maybe this is the good time to do the light novel idea. Maybe that book is like where you could write a lot of like, it depends on how you wanted.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying, that you're wanting to display more visual with cool
Yeah.
dialogue, not so
Yeah.
much
Exactly.
describing everything. You don't
I'm not
want to
looking
describe
forward.
the power. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there are things about it that would definitely be beneficial to be able to do it through a novel. Like describing a crime scene makes a lot more sense than. I mean, I guess we could do it really well visually with just do like a 9 panel grid for one crime scene, be like boom, 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 like
Yeah.
like all the evidence that he sees, and it's like that's what he's seeing, or do it in literal like photographs, as if
Hmm.
like that's how he sees it. Like
Like,
there's
yeah, that would be sick.
yeah, like there, and it's just like a few overlays as panels, but those are his pictures that we're seeing. And, like I like that. And like, I love comic books so much. It's just so time consuming, and like to do it right the way we're trying to do it is just so time consuming.
Yeah,
So
doing it the legit way is,
yeah,
well, and ours is legit, but it's not even board legit, But
yeah. I mean, oh my God,
sometimes I debate the time saving. There are definitely
I know what you mean.
pros and cons of digital versus physical. Like
100%.
I'm telling you, with physical, you have, even with someone who's been drawing digitally now for
Oh,
years, there is just something about a pencil and paper. It is
yeah,
so much more efficient, and there's so much more connection.
yeah.
And I'm not trying to sound like an old head
Well,
at all, because I do appreciate the digital tool, but there
yeah.
is, you just get way more expression through
You know what's
paper.
funny? Like no matter how much like I'm getting better at it as far as like sketching on my tablet and then inking over it, but still regardless, no matter how much like a pencil it is or seems or looks or feels, I still find myself being more precious and then erasing more often. Like with a
Yeah.
pencil, I would be light and I would find the shapes without needing to erase until most of the shape is there. Whereas digitally, I will sit there and I'll try to find the shapes and I'll erase while I'm going, and I'm like, what am I doing? This is a
And
first layer.
and right there, I will say, I think that's the problem with digital versus pencil, where
Yeah,
pencil like slowly boxes you in
yeah,
with your rough, and then you get more expressive in trying to
yes,
figure out and solve the puzzle. That's kind of the pathways are shrinking with what it
yeah,
can become now. And with digital, you can just erase it, then you're just never satisfied. And then you're like, just eventually just becomes robotic, because you like erase it until it's perfected, and then
yeah. It's like an
it loses.
analysis paralysis
Yeah.
situation. Like you get
Yep.
overwhelmed by the potential for more or growth or different or better or
Whereas pencil, like, I don't know, like there is just something about it. So yeah, but no, like doing comics, basically drawing like with not just generating, AI comics, like
ugh,
I'm sure that's flooding Kickstarter at this point by now.
yeah.
I mean, I don't, but I'm sure people are doing it.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I mean, it's just so time consuming. But like a book like that is really cool. And then like, man, that's the type of book that could. I mean, like honestly, I feel like Play It Again or Deathless could have been picked up too.
Yeah.
I think it's more or less.
Well, that's something we've never tried to do. What'd be cool? I think maybe we should do this, Steven. Even if we can, I mean, we can kickstart for printing costs or something, but like, what if we make a plan to just for fun for us, because we've never done it, one of our, whatever our next book is, we'll submit it
Okay.
before, you know
Before
what I
we
mean?
publish it.
Before we publish, before we like launch a Kickstarter, our plan is always going to be, we're going to put this out no matter what. But this time,
We're
what
gonna
if we
try
try?
submission first. We're gonna go
Yeah,
for
what
a
if we,
submission.
What if we try? We'll send it off to Dark Horse. We'll send it off to Image. We'll send it off to, I don't even know. I don't think Skybound takes, I don't know if they do take submissions, but we'll send it off to like the various people that might be interested and see if we hear back. And if we don't hear back within a certain allotted time, we'll make a Kickstarter just like we always would, But like we might as well put our best foot forward, do our best and try because I think our like as we're doing it, our skills are obviously improving, and I think our stories are really good. I think overall our books are unique, and like we're telling stories that like I think people would enjoy if they were given the opportunity to read them. So I don't know. Like I think Bullet and the Beast would be a good one, but I also do feel like Bullet and the Beast would be our most profitable book on Kickstarter, generally speaking. But What Fresh Hell also sounds really cool. Our Sorceress idea sounds really cool. There's just not enough time in the world, Steven. It's
There's
it's
not.
tricky. So I don't know. Yeah, we have to. We'll talk about it. Like I do. I really am excited to make music and do stuff with Bullet and the Beast. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. All right, let's see. Our next question. We have a question from AJ Castelletto. She wants to know who wins in a fight, a Were-Squatch or a Squatch Pyre?
So, Weresquatch to me implies human that becomes a Sasquatch whenever something happens, whether it's
Right.
a moon or something like that.
Okay.
A Squatch Pyre sounds to me like a Sasquatch who's already naturally, 15, 20 times stronger than a human, getting
Ooh,
bit and becoming even stronger as a
that's
vampire.
terrifying.
So
Yeah.
I feel like a Squatch Pyre just is wins. Now, if a Were-Squatch is a Sasquatch that's
Sasquatch
bit by a wolf
by wolf
and
or
gains like
werewolf.
the lycanthropy or whatever
Yeah, yeah.
of the wolf, then it might be back to like an underworld situation where
Right.
whoever gets the jump, like the werewolves can
Right.
take out a vampire if they got the jump on them, blah 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 blah. So, but I think a Squatch Pyre is the winner there because
Yeah,
I just can't imagine how strong, like the strongest primate ever would be as a
ooh,
vampire.
it depends. Here's my only caveat to this, Stephen, is that I imagine if we stick with the traditional weaknesses of each thing or legend of each thing, if both are allergic to silver,
Mm,
right? Both are allergic to silver, but a vampire can be killed by wood.
mm.
It might be more, not to mention, Steven, the were-squatch could attack the vampire or the squatch pyre while they're sleeping during the day.
You're not wrong. So
I'm
there
just
there
saying,
are
like,
definitely, and they're obviously fighting in a forest.
yes.
So
And
the
I,
wood
okay,
the wood element is definitely there. Whole
yes.
logs are going through chests.
I
Like
will I will also say because we talked about we were given preferential treatment to the were-squatch as if they're better somehow, but they're not, Steven, because what if it's not the full moon, the squatch pyre comes out, eats this were-squatch, and it's the end of the day for you. Like no more big feet for you, sir and or ma'am.
mhm.
That's all there is to it. So I guess yeah, dude, it comes down to the Goku Superman of it all of like, I don't know,
Yeah.
it depends on who's writing,
Depends on who's writing. You can make it work either way. But I
Yeah.
do think a Were-Squatch sounds like a human that becomes a Sasquatch, which therefore would be
That's
at a
yeah.
disadvantage to a Sasquatch that becomes a vampire.
100%, dude. I agree completely. JM, the Elite fan, asks, do you think courage manifests in different ways, i.e., Aragon from Tolkien versus Guts from Berserk? Yeah, like, Stephen, what do you think about courage? Do you think it's like, there are different types of courage, or is it just like courage is courage?
Yeah, I mean, I imagine courage can blossom in various different ways, right? Like, I can imagine the person that thinks they're predestined to be the hero and have to fulfill their legacy, and they,
Yeah.
they build their courage from that acknowledgement of like what they're destined to do. Like,
Mhm.
for example, Iron Man going into Endgame knew that there was a one in whatever million chance, and when he was, look,
Right.
he developed that courage in the moment because he knew he was the one that had to be the one. His courage was like, blossomed on him in that moment. Like he wasn't sure if he was the one, but he knew there was only one shot at it, and then when it was up to him, he realized it, and all of that courage, like, because he sacrificed literally everything. Like his
Yeah.
one caveat to the whole situation was, I don't want to lose what I found
Yeah.
in the last 5 years, and he didn't. But everyone lost him,
Right.
versus like someone like Link from Zelda, right?
Right.
He is the hero of time. He
Mhm.
is the hero of the sky. He will every 100 years or so be born to fight fight Ganondorf. That's his destiny. That courage is just a constant in his life. His courage is backed by he knows that he is the hero of time. So I think that right there, for example, like between Iron Man and Link, there's two varying degrees of courage right there, you know?
Yeah, I kind of think, I mean, the idea of courage is it's not being afraid, but it's recognizing a sort of fear of something and overcoming it in one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
You see the potential for loss or for failure, and you still go through with the thing. You push
Mm-hmm.
forward with your will one way or another. And I feel like the gasoline that drives that particular vehicle is different for different people. Like, some people find courage through anger, some people find it through vengeance, some people find it through, the strength of their convictions, whatever it may be, or like righteousness, or whatever. Or just a greater fear of, I want to do this thing that I'm afraid of, but I'm afraid that something worse will happen if I don't. So there are a lot of, I think it's more
Mm-hmm.
about, or at least from what I take from the question is like, I think there are a lot, like what you said, a lot of it just depends on what your motivation is for overcoming that fear and going through with the thing and becoming brave. So yeah, there are a lot
Mm-hmm.
of, I think it manifests in many different ways. Um, all right, we have a few more questions, not many more, and then we're gonna wrap it up and tell you about our what we're doing this week. Let's see. So we have a book editor asked, "Is root beer really beer? Should we have to show ID to buy it at a liquor store like regular beer?" Yeah,
So I know it's not obviously
yeah,
like it doesn't have alcohol in it, so it's not. But I know they brew it right. Like I know like
yeah,
I remember this restaurant in Fort Myers.
yeah.
It's no longer hops, but it was hops at one point, and they used to have their own root beer that they made in
Doesn't
house.
BJ's still do that? I think, or they still have some kind of drinks. I don't know if I know they make like cream soda and they make their own beers. I'm not sure if they do root beer still, but yeah. Should you have to show ID? Yes, you should have to show ID for everything. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. Of course not. Okay, let me see. Nina Smith asked, "What inspires your writing or creating the most?" Stephen, what inspires you the most to like do the things you're doing?
That is honestly like it varies between
Yeah,
like like currently I would say when it comes to like creating a long form project like a comic,
yeah,
your inspiration is more or less drawn from seeing the final product and
mhm,
like because I'm going to be honest with you with any sort of long form like thing
yeah,
like that it's work it's
yeah,
it's not just dandelions and love and butterflies it's just straight up this is my job while I'm
yeah,
doing this and you do find moments of bliss and joy of course when you're creating but a lot of the times it really is just like shelling out the pages. Whereas like
yeah.
then there's those things like there's just random pieces of art like the Deer Hunter thing. I was so into those albums at that time that like it's like like when it feels like you have to get this idea out because it
Yeah.
hurts.
Yeah.
I know you know that,
Yeah.
but it's like oh I can just see this really cool expressive page of
Yes.
every like moment, every story beat because this doesn't really have a lot of comics to showcase these different visuals that I'm seeing in these albums and like it just I had to get it done and that was like pure joy like I never like prioritized or set aside time to work on it but anytime it was like building me up I was like yeah let's just go draw on that for like a few minutes
I
and
love that, dude. Yeah, like there's always obviously there's like the rewarding, for anyone who enjoys creating or expressing themselves in any way that they find, if you find any enjoyment or fulfillment in that, um I think it's so interesting because like it feels like so much of life, especially like with the phones and tablets and such now. Like we scroll and we get little like hits of dopamine as we like get our reward. Like people like this. People are interacting with me. People are commenting on this, and like I'm not invisible or whatever. You get those little like it feels like the different and like then you have creating, right? And it feels like the difference between like scrolling is like pushing a button. And like every once in a while, you get like a little out, like a little piece of dopamine versus like when you're creating something like writing a comic or writing a book or drawing a comic and you're like pulling this lever that's way harder to pull and it takes all of this
mm-hmm.
work to pull but it's going to be this like it's a dumpamine and like that's how that works
it's a big
and like
fat load of
big
dopamine
fat load. But no, like that's that. Yeah, for me, it's pretty much what you were saying, where it's like I have something in me, like a question that I'm trying to sort through. Whether or not I'm answering it or just exploring it is, I don't know. Like it's different. Depends on the situation. Sometimes I'm just trying to like say I'm sorry or like say like hey I'm not a bad person this was just complicated or like what just like just expressing the like a human thought, where I'm like, oh my God, everyone is so strange and complicated, and sometimes we're defining things in such like a strict black and white way. Like something has to be horror, it has to be comedy, but what if it's silly and sincere? And what if it's a little bit of both? Because we all are. And what if this, no one's a monster, but everyone's a monster? And oh my God. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like to express something that is like meaningful but it does give me that release of like, it felt nice to be able to like put that in the world, and hopefully some community like connects with it, and then it gives me more opportunities for those little button pushes where I get more dopamine, where people are like, hey, I'm also a creature that's similar to you, and I'm cryptid shaped or whatever it may be. So that's, but it's mostly just as far as like like what inspires the writing. It's just like having a human experience that I haven't seen explored in a way that I would explore it. Like somebody, you see something on a movie or in a movie or a show, and you're like, oh man, if that happened to me, I would never do that. Like, and that's why like Steve and I like joke around about the like stakeout. So the like main idea of stakeout started with basically like Steven and I joking around about the magicians and stuff, where I was like, hey Steven, there are
Yeah.
vampires, and the joke was you just believed me right away. And it's just
There's just no doubt
like
in
there's
my mind. We're gonna
there's
start
no,
killing some.
yeah,
We're gonna
because
start
like
killing some Penn and Tellers.
yeah, exactly. Yes, because we've all seen those movies where like two best friends are there, one goes to the other one, they're like, "Oh my God, I saw an alien," and there's always someone who's like, "No, you didn't see it." But like, I wouldn't respond that way. If Steven, who I know, who I've known more longer than I haven't, right? Who I've known my whole life, came to me and sincerely said, I saw an alien, it's in my shed. I would not waste a breath. I
Hmm.
simply wouldn't. And I don't care. I could show up there and then be made a fool of. That's fine. I'm gonna dive into
But
my
you're not gonna be the
best friend's.
doubtful best friend, which is such a
No,
weird thing that Hollywood does. The
it,
doubtful best friend, like
yeah,
those that doesn't work. That's not how it
dude,
works.
it's not. And I
This is supposed
understand.
to be the person you trust more than anyone. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
this is like,
And I think it goes to show like it says more about general society and the people who write those things than it does the rest of us, because
mm,
the reality is, and like, okay, is it possible that you're going through a mental break of some sort? Yes. But am I going to treat it as that immediately if you show no other signs aside from saying simply I saw this thing? No. I'm
especially
gonna be
because more than likely it's gonna start with, dude,
yes.
you are not gonna believe me, and I understand.
That's
But
exactly
I have a vampire chained in my backyard right now.
it. Steven, that's exactly it.
Like,
That's
like that's
exactly it.
exactly how
Like
either one of us would start
it's
that sentence.
dude,
Because if
Steven,
either one of us started
oh,
the other way, like vampires, got him,
got him.
then there might be a little skepticism. There might be a little, oh, Steven,
Steven,
what's going
okay,
on?
yeah, like there's a difference between listen, dude. I know this is gonna sound crazy. You're not gonna believe me. I hope you believe me because we talk about this for a long freaking time. But something happened in my house, and there's a vampire. There's a difference between that and everyone in the world's a vampire, Steven. They're all
I've
vampires.
been watching videos.
Yeah, I've been watching videos. I've been in a rabbit hole on YouTube, and everyone's a vampire. Everyone's related, and that's different. Anyway, yeah. So yeah. So it's that. It's experiencing something or seeing something in a movie or like reading something in a book and being like, I wouldn't respond like that. I'm a different type of person. I think there are other people like me, or I hope there are other people like me. Let's see if we connect about this. And yeah. So I write a thing, I make a thing, and then like 12 people are like, hey, me too, and I'm like, yes. Also, I wish there were more of us.
I mean, like, just look at, like, this is how I look at it. One movie's subplot is another movie's main plot, and
Yeah.
like, and it works. Like, there are movies that introduce cool concepts that only exist for a few seconds, where
Yeah.
people can take that concept and make an entire movie out of it, and it's the most
Yes.
interesting thing in the world. Like, that's the thing, is like anything can be, and I mean that's really what most stories are anyway.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, oh,
Yeah,
I
dude.
like that. Let's do that more. Like,
Yes.
let's explore
100%.
that.
100%. All right, let's see. So, all right, we only have a few left. We'll get through them relatively quickly. Our new friend Dal asked, it's at Dead on the Page asked, what's a comic you'd like to see adapted to screen? I've mentioned Scud before, but I'd also love to see something like Trans Metropolitan turned into a TV series. Yeah, Steven, like, are there any comic books that you're like, man, I'd love to see a friggin' movie of that or a TV show of that? Like, anything come to mind?
I don't. I know whenever this question gets asked, I always say the same thing. The reason why I'm
I,
bringing up in particular this time is
yeah,
that I'm
I
actually
know.
kind of disappointed because if you haven't been watching X-Men 97 this season,
Uh-huh.
dude, it's the closest we'll ever get to Uncanny X-Force, but I know they're not going to do the Uncanny X-Force plot just by the way everything's laying out. And dude, they have the Horsemen, the
No.
four horsemen from Uncanny X-Force. The drummer, the Civil War
What?
drummer. Yeah, dude, they have
Dude,
those
I
four.
need to go watch. I need to watch this
Dude,
freaking show.
they're
I love
there,
Uncanny
but I
X-Men.
know they're not going to do
Yeah,
the
I know.
nature versus nurture plot
Yeah,
of there's just no way they're doing it this season. But to see those characters, I was like, oh my god,
that's so
like
neat.
those are
Yeah.
the horse, like the Minotaur was there and everything. They had all four of them, and I was like, damn it, I'm not. This is the closest I'll ever get to seeing that rendition of X
Yeah.
Force ever, you know. But other comic wise, what's like something I've read? Why the Last Man would be cool. Didn't
Dude,
they kind of did
they
something
did
though,
they tried
didn't
to
they?
do a show, or they tried to do a couple of shows of it. I watched it for a little bit, and I just couldn't really get into the way they were
Mm.
doing it. But yeah, Why the Last Man would be a really good
I feel
one.
like Why the Last
I,
Man needs to be adapted as an anime. I think that's what needs to happen. I think
ooh,
it needs to
that's a
be done
good
as an
point.
anime.
That's a good
If it
point.
was done as an anime,
You know,
it would be really awesome. Actually, it would be done really well.
yeah. I mean, a lot of things are like that. Like if they did a legitimately like a one for one adaptation of Preacher, it would be really good. I would
Mm.
love to see a Madman adaptation. It would just be so cool. I mean, like even if it's just a movie, but a series would be so much fun. I would really love that. Aside from that, I mean, as far as I'm trying to think of like a mainstream, well, they mentioned Transmetropolitan, so I guess they're looking for more like. I mean, we got the freaking boys.
I would love to
We
see
got
the actually no, I
we
would love
got
to see the
Dread.
Amory Wars.
Amory Wars would
But
be
the
really
Amory
cool.
Wars would be amazing to see. That'd be really cool. Actually, I would
Oh,
say Amory Wars would probably be the one comic I would love to see
yeah.
done in some medium. I think once again, I think a really cool anime or like even like X-Men 97 style animation would be awesome for
Yeah.
Amory Wars, but I would also love to see it in live action. So
Dude, Headlopper would be so cool. You should read Headlopper at some point.
it's crazy.
Dude, it's so badass. It's just badass. It's just like cool, um, like like giant barbarian, like badass, like Viking-esque fantasy world, and it's so cool. Saga would also be cool. Oh man,
Mm.
there's so many good ones. There's so many good comics out there, guys. Everyone read comics. Deathless is my answer. Oh
Deathless
my
would be awesome.
God, Deathless would be
You
so
could
cool. Steven.
retool Deathless. You can put whoever you want as
Oh,
Douglas. Douglas is
seriously.
interchangeable. You just every character is interchangeable. Just
Yeah.
please make it happen.
Let me write this as a movie or a show. It would make such a good show, dude. It would make such a
Hmm.
cool series.
Even
Like
like a
if
series, like a mini series, like a
yeah, just like a six
honestly like
part. Like
a
it could just
six to
do.
eight part a 6 to 8
Yeah.
part mini series is all you really need for Deathless.
Oh, it'd be
So
so good. So yeah, Deathless is my actual answer for sure. If you haven't read Deathless, please read Deathless. All right, let me see. So we have two more questions. The first one is, do you keep a diary? You don't keep a diary, right,
I
Steven?
do not know.
Okay, so I, throughout my life, have kept a diary randomly, and it's always, and I'll tell you what it is, dude. I I kind of call like I know it's gonna sound pretentious and that's fine, but like I call it like in the cave and out of the cave. Like I spend a lot of the time in my life doing my best to just be like I'm part of society. I'm gonna do what I can. I'm gonna talk to the people. I'm gonna have arguments like things matter. I'm gonna forget about the fact that we're all just weird creatures that are dying, living on this marble, floating through, this abyss or whatever. And I have no idea what happens when I die, and I'm gonna die, and I'm gonna die. And I try not to think about that, and I just live in society. And then every once in a while, I like start getting like not just mad, but I get like too overwhelmed with it all where I'm like, all right, like everything's weird, like AI is happening and publishing is messed up and like everyone's losing jobs and I don't know what to do and I start forgetting that like I'm like, all right, this is all silly. It's like a weird game and it doesn't actually define like the human experience. They're just trying to make it define the human experience. So I have to like take a step back and I kind of like step outside of that, which is kind of like putting my head in the sand of it all, but also it's more like looking at it through a different lens and just saying like, hey, Magna, like just kind of just take a step back and like see the world as ants for a second. That's okay. You're just an ant. It's not as significant as you're thinking. Everything, it's time is like massive compared to your little like blip of
Mhm.
reality. So what I do is when I do that and I take a step out of that stupid like crazy fire of a cave into those shadows or fighting and such, I will, and I have written notes to myself where I'm just like, all right, we're here again. We found ourselves
We're
in this
back.
place where we're defining life by these like these structures that have been like thrown up, thrust upon us in such a way that we're defining ourselves by this. And like, like, what is success to me now, and who am I now, and what level am I? And it's kind of like a moment I take for reflection. But I don't like to live there. I like to like do that, try to like kind of reflect, figure out what I'm doing, where I want to be next time I leave the cave, and I just go back and I chain my neck up and I sit there and I look at the freaking shadows. And I'm like, all right, we're doing this again, back to society anyway. And I'm just like, James Gunn and brr, and Zack Snyder, and I pretend it matters. Um, but yeah, so yeah, I do. I've always written notes to myself. I have like all these notebooks back here that have like so many. At some point, if anyone wants, I'll read some of them. They're ridiculous, but I like I've written so many notes to myself. But I don't keep like a daily diary though.
Mm-mm.
Our final question, Stephen. Our final question comes from Real Pampster, which is, and I saved this one for last specifically because it says this is a good question. It says, what is the strangest thing you have personally witnessed in your life? I'd answer seeing ball lightning when I was in middle school during a weird
Mm.
storm. But yeah, Steven,
Ball lightning is crazy.
dude, the
As
idea
a
of it is crazy.
Floridian, and even as a Floridian, we're like the lightning capital of the world, where we are in Florida, even, and we
Yeah.
don't see ball lightning that often. But like when it shows, it's like, damn, that's fucking cool looking. Like it's crazy. Weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. Shh. If you have something locked and loaded, I can start thinking. I know I've seen some stuff.
Weirdest thing I've seen. I mean, there are things I've seen that I'm like, I don't know what that was. Like there was a time I saw the guy sitting in a chair in front of my door in the middle of the night, and I was like, there's a man sitting in a chair in front of my door in the middle of the night, and I started walking toward him, and there was still a man sitting in a chair in front of my door in the middle of the night, and I started walking toward. I kept walking toward him, and there was still a man sitting in a
Like,
chair.
oh, my eyes are gonna adjust
And
and
I'm
see
like, my
something
eyes are gonna
different,
adjust.
but
And
no.
there was still a man sitting there. I was like, what? And then, like, as I kind of like reached out, it was gone. And I was like, I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was. All I do know now, here's the thing. I'm super skeptical, even having seen that because I woke up to see it. I need this moment there to be a man sitting in a chair that's just right there out of nowhere. And I'm like,
Not to be in like a half.
yeah, where it's like it's funny because like if you told me like this story, if you're like, oh man, I saw a man sitting in a chair, I'd be like, oh man, that sucks. We don't know what it was. If you were like, oh, it was definitely a ghost because I did that, I'd be like, okay, cool. I don't know. But I'm still to my own in my own brain. I'm like, I don't trust that I saw that because I just woke up, I stumbled forward. That being said, it was very very creepy and weird, and I did and I in that house that I was or the apartment complex I was living in, I did feel like weird, like something touching my hair and things would fall off my wall. But I could also like dismiss that with like I'm bad at hanging things on the wall, as you can see. I'm just kidding. I've learned, Stephen. Um, but no, I don't know. I
I've
don't like
I've
that
I've
was
dropped talents in that tree.
yeah.
I don't. I never saw anything, but how about this? Like in a similar fashion,
Mhm.
there are very few moments in my life where I've had the get out, like
Oh yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
gut
No, I know that.
feeling, like
Yeah,
get out, like panic sets. And I'm not like, don't get me wrong, I've dealt with panic attacks, but I'm not someone who has panic attacks. Like,
right.
um, I'll never forget. I might have told the story on the podcast
Yeah,
before, but it was the most ominous thing I've ever felt for myself personally. I was working, I was doing tile work with my dad, and he had to go to a doctor's appointment. We were in Fort Myers, so my dad was like, "Hey, we're in Fort Myers. If you don't want to wait at the doctor's office, it's right by the villas. So how about you just go stay at Grandpa's? Grandpa's out of town.
yeah.
But just go stay there and watch some TV. I'll come pick you up afterwards." I was like, "Oh, sweet, hell yeah!" I mean, and you remember my grandpa's house? It was
Oh
really
yeah.
cool. So that's that's the grandpa who my grandma passed away only a few years prior. Now they lived in a very like 1970s like old Florida home where it had like 2 bedrooms and like a Florida room and
Yeah.
all that stuff. And yeah, I have been to that house many times by myself with friends, never had any issue. And then I'm just watching TV and I am like not even thinking about anything, and all of a sudden I just feel like I literally feel eyes on me, and I'm like, suddenly my whole
Oh,
like vibe changes, and I'm just like in my stomach. I It doesn't even say look for it, says you need to leave this house right now.
yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know what's doing this. What's drive? I've never experienced this level of drive before to do this,
Oh,
and I'll never forget. I looked back down because you remember that hallway that led to
yeah.
that bathroom that had a bedroom
Oh,
behind
yeah.
the folded door. I just looked down, and that hallway just felt so ominous, like something was going to turn that corner and charge at me. And I left. I walked out of the house, and I literally walked my grandma's. I didn't even go near the house because I was afraid something was going to look at me through the window and
Oh,
confirm what I was feeling. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just kept walking around the block till my dad came and got me. And when I say this, I'm not 12. I'm
Yeah.
like 18 at this point, and I'm like a full like grown teenager. And yeah, it was the most uneasy I've ever felt in my life. Actually, like
Oh,
I can still feel the way I felt when I think about it. Like I'm like,
yeah.
ooh, I don't know what it was. What maybe there was a burglar in there or something. I don't know. Maybe there because like it's very rare I had the whole eyes are on you feeling,
Right.
but like, dude, I couldn't like it. I was being watched by something. I don't know what it was, but
That's so creepy. I
mhm.
hate and love that. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's a great answer. So those are all of our questions. If you want to be a part of this, if you want to communicate with us, you want to participate in the questions from the colony situation, ask them below or just follow me on Twitter. I ask this pretty much every week or every other week. It's at Anthony Lafusi. I'll post a link, whatever. But otherwise, Stephen, at the end of every show, we always talk about what we're going to work on this week. Stephen, what are you going to do? How are you going to overcome your issues? What are you going to work on?
this week I do feel a lot of the burden. I wasn't looking forward to doing the cameos because I'm always so nervous that people aren't going to appreciate their
I know.
cameo in it. They spend money on it, but I
I know.
do feel good about these cameos,
Yeah,
and
they look really good.
it's good. Now it's just coloring and chilling. Like that's what I feel like the rest of my deathless experiences. So I'm gonna try to get it all done. But I will
Heck
definitely get everything you sent shaded, and
yeah.
then at least
Dude,
the rest of it flatted. But I do want to try because since I'm controlling the last few pages with the
yeah.
colors, I can drop my lighting first and then just
First
go
and
from
see
there.
what how it affects
Hmm.
everything for sure.
So
I'm very excited for this. I am going to this weekend. I'm probably gonna wake up Saturday morning and just letter the hell out of this. Like I'll probably get at least half of it done. I will finish it before we record again. I'm gonna letter this whole book before we record again. But like I'm probably gonna do like a good half of it this weekend. We'll see. Carl's and I, my wonderful wife, our 2 year anniversary is
aw,
next week.
that's amazing how fast
We're
time
go
flies.
Yeah, dude, isn't it crazy? Well, you know what's crazy? It's our
So
two
crazy.
year anniversary, but like we've been married
But
since January, right?
yeah,
So, it's interesting. But we've decided so since it's this is the anniversary of literally the first time we met. It's like that's pretty much when we consider our relationship started. It was the first words we said to each other were "I love you" in person. So like
so cute.
it's been an interesting time. It's been wonderful. But we decided we're going to do our new actual anniversary is our wedding. We have our wedding anniversary. But so we're not doing like big gifts or anything, but what we want to do is like go out to like somewhere nice to eat and
That's
like
what we do because
yeah,
we have 10/24, which is our date anniversary is what we
yeah,
call it, and
yeah,
especially since Tina and I were together for so long before we got married, and I'm an asshole for doing that. I guess like I always tell her it's one of my biggest regrets in life is not marrying her like after year like two,
yeah,
but we definitely do a full set. Like I always take her out to a nice dinner, or I make her a nice dinner. So
yeah,
yeah, there's and ours are split up enough to where yours are too, obviously. Where
yes,
it's like October and January for me, which is I think it's
nice,
for you. Then it's
yeah, yeah.
like what it's
August and
August,
January, yeah,
August and January.
yeah,
It's a good
that's not too
separation. So
bad.
yeah, but
Yeah, so we're
I fully support celebrating date anniversaries because I mean
yeah,
that's the day you met the person,
dude,
like
it's
or
so
not met,
important,
but the
dude.
day
And
you
like
confirmed
it
it. You
was
know.
Oh man, it was crazy. I mean, if you've been watching our show for a while, like I had a tumultuous series of relationships or like near misses and awkward situations and stalkers, like
Mm.
just weird stuff happened. And then I kind of gave up dating. I gave up just trying to find anyone. And I was like, I'm just gonna focus on this and focus on being a father and just have my life. And I met Carl's online and we just were friends for a long time. And then we started kind of flirting and she moved to Florida to be close to her brother and we just fell in love over videos. It was crazy, over like video chats and stuff. So yeah, it's been a weird time. So like you can see all of that in our show, which I think is so funny. Like it's great that we have
Mm.
this whole,
Oh,
collection.
it's literally like, and I
So
always think about that too with my kids. Like, it's gonna be so awesome for them if I ever pass away, because they will literally have so much content to watch of their
yeah,
dad if they ever
it's really
want
it's
to.
re- it's really funny because like so Roman Cliff asked, "Do you keep a diary?" The answer is yeah, a weekly diary that we
Actually,
talk
we
about.
do. We're probably one of the best diary keepers of all time. We
Yeah, we
literally
keep.
update you on everything we're doing, things we're
Yeah,
feeling, things that gave us trouble,
yeah,
things that brought us joy.
yeah.
I
This
mean,
is
that's what this podcast. It's a video diary for the last how many
yeah.
years now?
Oh my God, dude, 6 years, right? I mean, it's about that.
Crazy.
So it's nuts.
You know how they're saying they're AI, they're going to be able to basically it's people
Recreate
are
us
like,
completely.
but
Yeah.
what they're saying is that like in the future there may or may not be a product that allows you to experience a loved one again through
Right.
means of artificial creation.
Dude, oh my
I'm going
God.
to say you and I would probably, aside from celebrities,
Yeah.
you and I would probably have some of the best recreations of all time.
Oh,
Like,
100%. My AI bot is gonna wave his arms around and tell all the weird stories
all
and
right, we
know
need to
all.
dial back the flailing. There's no
Yeah.
way he flailed that much. No, sir. I assure you, he flailed much more.
Yeah, we had to tone it down actually. Do you want 100% Anthony or like 60%? That seems more manageable. Anyway, so yeah, this week Steven's working on that. I'm gonna get all lettering done. That's what we're doing this week. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for participating in anything we ever do and watching this much. This episode went on a lot longer than I expected, but that's
Yeah,
okay. We love you and we appreciate you and we're thankful for your dang questions. But until next time, actually, no, Steven, do you want to say anything before I go?
I love you guys. I appreciate you all. It's the same stuff Anthony says. I genuinely do feel that though.
Okay. No, but no, we do really appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to our dang channel though, I don't know why you're playing hard to get. I do appreciate you for watching this far. Please hit the subscribe button and
Just
share
hit the
our show
button.
with
It does
everyone in the
nothing.
universe.
We
It's
don't
yeah,
even bother you. We don't. You
just yeah, we just
never watch
just
again.
yeah. Comment below if you want to help us with the algorithm. It does help. And if you made it this far in the show, you at least either you hate us enough to like just you want to stick with us, you want more people to hate us, just comment below and be like hate or what I don't know. I don't know what hate or like what are you doing? I love you. I love you. But yeah, comment below. We really appreciate you. But otherwise, until next time, I'm Anthony.
I'm Stevie Wildcard.
And this has been We Have Issues. We'll see you next week.
I don't have a special one, but here it goes anyway. Boom! I said, oh wait, I got one. Boom, 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 boom. Boom 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 boom. That Spider-Man's actually that theme song is really hard to do with
It is
booms.
hard to
Actually,
do with boobs. All right, dude. I love you so much.
I love you too, dude.
We have enough for the after the thing. We're good.
For
All
sure.
right,
And
dude.
we're both seeing Spider-Man this weekend. I'm seeing it
Hell yeah.
Saturday.
I'm seeing it Sunday,
I'm
so no
excited.
spoiler. I know you wouldn't
Yeah,
spoil it.
no, I got you.
All right, dude. Yeah, I can't
Immediately
wait.
start texting you throughout the movie. Yep, she's this. Oh my god, I can't believe this guy was in it. What's happening? Why is he doing this to me?
Why is he doing this? I thought you liked me.
He's never
All right.
done this before. I love you, dude.
I love you, dude. I'll see you soon.